You can tell a lot about a person by what's in their glass. Sometimes it says, I appreciate true craftsmanship. And sometimes it says, I will definitely try to explain cryptocurrency to you at this party. I'm Tim Fulton, and this is Character Proof. Every episode, we pour a different whiskey, break down the actual tasting notes, and then vividly imagine the exact type of person who drinks it on purpose. So grab a glass, pull up a chair, and get ready for some tasting notes and a whole lot of character flaws. Let's get pouring. Wow. Okay. Next up, we are traveling across the Atlantic to the southern coast of the Isle of Islay in Scotland. I poured this glass 3 minutes ago, and the studio now smells like a seaside hospital caught on fire. This is Laphroaig 10-year-old. Let's get a sip. Yep, there it is. It hits you right up front. Intense peat smoke, heavy brine, burnt rubber, iodine, a dirty Band-Aid floating in a cold Atlantic tide pool. It is violently aggressive, uncompromising, and honestly, absolutely delicious. It's a masterpiece. But let's be real. You have to be a specific kind of intellectual sicko to drink this on purpose. You honestly, truly have to be a little crazy, okay? The guy drinking this is named Simon. Simon is 34 years old. He's a senior UX designer for a boutique agency, and he lives in a converted factory loft where the exposed century-old brick constantly sheds a fine layer of red dust onto his $4,000 mid-century sofa. Simon is currently wearing raw 15-ounce selvage denim jeans that he proudly hasn't washed in 14 months to preserve the whisker fades. He pairs them with a pristine pair of Red Wing heritage boots that have never touched actual mud, and a mustard yellow fisherman's ribbed beanie, even though he is indoors and the central air is humming at 72 degrees. Simon likes Laphroaig because Simon fundamentally views drinking not as a leisure activity, but as a test of existential endurance. He doesn't just pour this scotch for his house guests, he actively subjects them to it. It's a psychological gauntlet. When his college buddy Dave comes over, Simon doesn't just hand him a glass. No, Simon treats the interaction like a high-stakes ritual. He holds the Glencairn glass up to the warm glow of the Edison bulb lighting his kitchen island, gently swirls the amber liquid to inspect the legs on the glass, and issues a solemn disclaimer. Now, Dave, Simon says, lowering his voice to a conspiratorial whisper, just a heads up, this isn't for everyone. This is Islay. It's deeply challenging. It tastes like the primordial earth. You really have to let it sit on the palate and open up. Dave, who just wanted a beer, will take a polite sip, visibly gag, turn slightly pale, and say, Simon, this tastes like a literal tire fire at a dentist's office. Simon will nod slowly, a smug, deeply satisfied smile spreading across his face. Exactly, Simon whispers, swirling his own glass. You're tasting the terroir. That's the decomposed prehistoric vegetation and the sea salt. Simon has never actually been to Scotland. Simon's most rugged outdoor experience to date was a curated glamping trip in Joshua Tree where the solar-powered espresso machine in his luxury yurt briefly lost power, forcing him to endure lukewarm cold brew for an afternoon. But when he drinks Laphroaig, he closes his eyes and pictures himself as a weathered lighthouse keeper, staring down a brutal North Sea squall. He likes to imagine he possesses the stoic soul of a salty Scottish sailor who harvests peat by hand, even though Simon recently had to call his building super because a harmless moth got trapped in his bathroom. If you look at Simon's curated floating bookshelf, the Laphroaig bottle sits in a place of honor. It is positioned right next to a pristine, uncracked copy of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius and a manual coffee grinder that requires him to perform 8 full minutes of physical labor just to brew a single cup of pour-over coffee every morning. Everything in Simon's life must require effort, because if it's easy, Simon believes it lacks authenticity. When Simon goes to a local bar, he refuses to look at the menu. He stands at the corner of the mahogany counter, catches the bartender's eye, and orders Laphroaig, neat, with an air of solemnity, hoping the person standing next to him notices. He thrives on the polarizing nature of the spirit. He loves the fact that the distillery itself literally ran an advertising campaign based on how much people loathe the taste. To Simon, drinking something that tastes like liquid asphalt is proof that he is part of a misunderstood elite. But here is the beautiful twist about Simon. Beneath all the exhausting pretension, the curated beanies, and the lectures on Islay geology, he actually does love this whiskey. He's not faking it anymore. The initial phase of drinking it just to look interesting passed years ago. Now it's a genuine romance. Late at night, when the glow of his MacBook Pro finally dims and his Slack notifications fall silent, he pours a heavy 2-ounce dram into his favorite glass. He sits alone in the dark, breathes in that medicinal peat-soaked campfire smoke, and for just a brief, beautiful second, he genuinely becomes the rugged, untouchable mountain man he pays $200 a haircut to look like. Well, the glass is empty, and the verdict is officially in. That's going to do it for this episode of Character Proof. If you enjoyed the show, please hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and share it with that one friend whose whiskey shelf costs more than their car. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Want us to put your go-to bottle to the test? Drop your favorite pour in the reviews, or hit us up on socials, and we might just profile you next. Until next time, drink responsibly, pour generously, and always check your character flaws. Cheers.